Good morning, everyone. How are you today? It's me, Shane Lee. Today I need to talk about not speaking for someone else, but letting them say how they really feel. Things of that nature. Now, here's a for instance. For example, my mom keeps telling me that she talked to the girl about it and that the girl don't want me talking about it herself, right? Well, I ain't talked to her about it, right? She ain't called me, nor me her, because I'm not in it, right? It never happened. She ain't gotta call me or me her if it never happened, right? It's just something you're trying to make happen, right? Now, the girl can call me as what? She's not nothing to me, right? She's not my stepdaughter. She's not my anything anymore, right? Now, Jonathan, yeah, I call, right? He's my son still, always. That's what I mean about me and Daphne in some ways are married. Though she has two daughters, one before we met and one after we met. So we're technically fully divorced, right? We both committed fornication against each other, technically speaking, and adultery, right? Jesus said, save for the cause of fornication or adultery, that's the only way you can divorce someone anyway, legally, in his belief, right? Now, you do those things, you're divorced. You don't, you're sort of still together. Here's another example. A girl I used to like named Wanda, though she was married to a handicapped person. If she never had sex with him, even though they're legally married, technically, she's no one's wife yet. Even if he eats her pussy out or shit like that, until they have sex. Even if he uses his fingers on it, right? Until they have physical coitus, where the penis enters the vagina, they're not married. Even if she could have a child with him or things like that, right? According to Jesus, two shall be one flesh. Sorry, that's the rule. Now, if they somehow extracted his sperm, yeah, she could be technically his wife, right? Even without the sex part, right? But only under those conditions, right? Now, if she uses someone else's sperm, that person technically would be her husband, right? Same with a lesbian. If you use another man's sperm, you're technically, according to the law, that man's wife, right? Like, for instance, someone I know who's a lesbian had a child through the same method, right? Well, that's technically who her husband is, not the female she's with now, right? So you can't marry the same sex, ever. You can't produce offspring that way, right? Now, according to Jesus, that's full marriage. Now, like I told other people about premarital sex, and whether you get pregnant or not, some see it as fornication, right? But Jesus sees it as an attempt to have a child, right? Even if you don't. Now that part is just sex, right? But when conception occurs, hypothetically, like if me and Mary Bell, she never got pregnant until possibly the last month we were together, maybe, right? And then she met Scott and thought he got her pregnant, right? That's what she told me anyway. If that were true, and the baby was 4 pounds 9 ounces when he was born, he might, because of his birth weight, be mine, but there's no way to prove it without a what? DNA test. All I can do is offer Mary Bell a DNA test if she wants one. I can't make her get one, and I didn't ask her to call me. She called me because Scott was believing it wasn't his, right? And I told her why, right? But if I was the only one she was with, she don't want him to be mine either. So it's causing a catch-22 in that relationship too, right? But I was doing it to get her pregnant. I was doing it to break up with her. But if I did get her pregnant by a fluke somehow, because I was with another girl first and then with her and then broke up with her, because that's what her first boyfriend broke up with her for anyway, cheating on her. Well, I never cheated on her until then, right? Because of how she was treating me the whole time, right? I just got tired of her shit. She would never believe me in anything I said, wouldn't commit to the relationship. So I gave up, met Michelle through my stepbrother, was with Michelle a few times, once in the beginning of September, once when I went, right before I went back to Marybelle, Now, I had what's called breakup sex with her, even though I cheated on her. Now, there's no way to know what happened, should have happened, or not, right? But the only way it could have happened is if Mary Bell's body reacted to Michelle's DNA in her vagina, and I didn't think about it that way at the time, right? But they say every time you have sex with someone, you're also having sex with who they had sex with, and vice versa. Now, me and Michelle, we met, had sex on the first of the month, and then waited a few weeks later and had sex again before I went back to Virginia, too, right? Now, the thing was, right, I was scheduled to go back to Virginia because of a court date, right? And they released me on my own recognizance to go back to the court date, right? And I came back, and then I came back. Right? And everything was taken care of that day, too. Now, what happened is, I came up in July, and me and Barry Bell were together, right? Then I came up in August, and we got caught together with Steve and everyone else knowing about it, right? She even called someone on the phone and told him, I love you and stuff like that while we were fucking. And we did it 3 positions, missionary, doggy, and her on top. Well, after that, and we just did it at the Navy Lodge. The motel there was on Ocean View, I think, right? Somewhere around there, right? And she had her own car and stuff like that, right? And we met there. But my car was left in the parking lot because they did a background check and found out I had a warrant, right? For my arrest in Virginia. Because of some traffic tickets that I didn't know about, right? And that's because I lost $13,000 in the back of a cab, right? And didn't know what happened to that either. And I left my wallet in the back of a cab, and mysteriously, these charges started popping up on my record after that happened, right? That's all I know. That's all you know. So anyway, after all that, right, I went back to Mary Bell, and we got caught by the warrant, right? And I was supposed to come back the following month in September around the 19th, right? Probably I think the court date was Friday. I came back Thursday to prepare for Friday. I met Mary Bell Thursday. Friday we were together. We weren't together Saturday because I needed to go back, so we were together 2 days there, right? And after that, about a week or 2 later, I broke up with her, right? And Michelle, before I left, right? Now, the reason I did that is why. I was seeing if I could either move on from Mary Bell and find a different type girl, which Michelle just acted more like Mary Bell, right? And the same with Mary Bell. I was seeing if either one of them was going to treat me like they wanted a serious relationship with me, and they didn't. They just seemed to, in my mind, use me for sex. Because I didn't see Michelle till 2 weeks later, right? Who knows what she was doing in the meantime, and same with Mary Bell. Both girls treated me offsetly, right? They didn't act like I was the one for them, but they were just fucking me on the side, sort of, right? And that's what I felt like with both girls. So I broke up with Michelle first before I went back to Mary Bell, and then I broke up with Mary Bell a few weeks or 2 after that, right? But since I'm in Georgia, the letter would take a few weeks to get to Mary Bell too, right? So by October, in my mind, we were broken up, right? Even if she didn't get the letter, right? Well, I quit writing her too. I didn't write her again. I let it all go, right? And I guess she got the letter. I don't know. She just knew I quit writing her in her mind, and maybe she figured out it was over about the time she met Scott, and then she had sex with Scott one night, and then I guess she got a birth control. She missed one of her birth control pills the following morning, and then she got a pregnancy test or something the same day, I guess. I don't know. It's all hypothetical from there on out, right? Because she didn't tell me until 3 years later, right? But that's just logically what she would have done if she didn't take her birth control pill the next day, and then within a day or 2 after that, did a pregnancy test and found out she was pregnant. And she assumed it was Scott's, right? And then married Scott, right? But the thing is, no one knows you're pregnant immediately after you have sex. Usually takes a week or 2, right? So you were already pregnant. Silly, silly. Not that I was trying to get you pregnant, but that's what it sort of looks like. If you did get pregnant, it was around the time you were with me, not with Scott, right? You were already pregnant, right? If you took a pregnancy test and within a day or two and found out you were pregnant. No one can find out they're pregnant that quickly. Unless what? You already were. Not just got pregnant and find out. It takes about a week or two to find out you're pregnant normally too. You're not immediately hormonal yet, right? If it was within 3 days and you did the test, right, and you found out you were pregnant, right, it's mine. Unless you were with someone else, like I keep telling you, like Miles or Steve or Bart, right? Or someone else completely different, I didn't even know, right? Like I said. When you treat someone like shit for 17 months and they finally give up, but they do you differently than your ex-boyfriend did because of how you were treating them, right? Because you were using him as an excuse to not be with him too, right? You made him feel like you were just using him for sex. That's why that would happen, right? That way, right? Doing it differently than your boyfriend did, trying to show you I'm not Bart, but if I'm going to cheat on you, bitch, I'm not even going to fucking tell you until after. Then I'm going to break up with you, right? Because of how you treat me, right? I don't cheat first, right? I cheat if you treat me like shit for a while, and then I'll cheat on you, right? And I told you that the whole time in letters, right? I don't know if you read them or got them all, right? And some of it was paranoia because of things I grew up around, including a few people being molested around me, and then my Pastor Davis touching my ass, right? Things like that. I knew people could be molested, right? And if the child was coming to me, that's why I would maybe, if I were to, do certain behaviors with her, like undress her myself. There's a reason for that, to see if she was molested too, right? That's not to really do it. That's not my intent to go past a certain point either. If I toe the line, right, and don't do certain activities, sexual assault is touching anyone below a certain point at a certain intersection on their body. You can touch someone on the hips. For example, when you learn to slow dance, the first way they teach you is about a foot apart and you put your hands on the girl's hips and she puts her hands on your shoulders or something, right? That's considered a way to learn to dance without the boy or girl getting too close together like in Catholic school or something like that, right? Now the other way is you get up close. Well, the problem with that is if you're a male, you can get what's called a boner, right? Now, whether you do or don't, until you're 18 or the age of consent, some people can control themselves better than others in certain situations. Now, if you get a boner, that's normal too. If you don't, you're just controlling yourself a little bit better, right? Until you're a certain age, you can't even consent to sex. 18 is the age in most states. If 16 is in Alabama and Georgia and Nevada, those are the ages in that state. But that could have been in the 1970s when it was 16. It might be 18 in Alabama now too. So you got to keep apprised of the laws of the state you're in. Because the laws of the state you're in and you reside in are the laws that apply to you or someone coming to you from another state too. If someone comes to you from another state and they have a driver's license that says they're 16 years old but are in Georgia, Georgia law applies for a resident of Georgia, which I am, right? But if the girl comes from another state, even if it's California, don't matter where, right? But if she comes to me, I know, she comes in and we have sex, right? With a driver's license that says she's 16 years old, I'm not breaking the rule, right? Nor is she, even though she's out of state. She's coming to a person who actually lives in Georgia and she knows I live in Georgia. If we have sex, it's consensual, right? In Georgia. If I go to her state and were to do it, yeah, that would be on me. That would be on you. Because the age of consent is 18 there, right? That's why I don't do that. I stay in Georgia. I don't go nowhere. So if the girl comes to me and we have sex, that's on her, right? But as far as I know, unless we're talking when I go to sleep, this happening weird things would have to happen there too, right? Though that could be, again, paranoia, right? That's happening, right? And finding my keys in unusual places when I thought I put them somewhere else. That can happen to someone too, but like I said, and there's a difference when you look for something and then you find it a few days later, but not even where it should be. If you were to lose it, because you already looked there, right? It's weird when you find something where you already looked, and then you look there a few days later, and then you find it immediately, right? And you know you already looked there. You know you already looked there. And the way it's there, it seemed like it was placed, not just happenstancely fell between the either. See, the thing is, the law of probability says there's no two ways something can happen, right? There's many ways. At a set time, people react differently to each situation, right? Depending on your mindset. Some people have don't say no to me attitude. That's bad. Some say you can say yes, no, and maybe to me. And some always have a negative attitude or say no all the time, right? Well, I accept it all, right? Whatever you tell me. But again, I will emphatically tell you no at times. I will emphatically tell you yes at times. And sometimes I'll just say maybe later on. But not right now. That's still a no until I decide for myself in the future fully if I will do it or not, right? Now, certain things you might can change your mind on and do, and certain things you might still never do, even if you say maybe, right? That's still an answer. We'll talk about it later, right? Which means not tonight, right? And then later on we'll decide, right? Now, some people don't understand those three words properly, right? Some people are told no means yes. Crap like that, right? And yes means no, and shit like that, right? Well, that's all confusion, right? That's Satan, that's the enemy, right? Trying to confuse you about the rules, right? And what you can do and can't do. That's the problem there too, right? Now, if I were to undress my stepdaughter and she let me, right? And I was to simulate licking her one time, which isn't really touching it, but getting within this close of it, say, not touching it. And then I back up and undress in front of her because I'm not quite thinking clearly. I'm trying to figure out what's going on myself. And I do sometimes undress when I'm uncomfortable, right? Or things like that, right? Then I figure out, well, she's a child, I'm an adult, and get dressed again, right? And dress her, right? So I ask her who showed her that, and she says, Grandma, right? Hypothetically, still. If she were to do any of that, right? That's my job to figure out what she's doing in there with me anyway. If I don't go too far with it, and I'm towing the line a little bit, but a little questionable to others who could see it if they have a video of it or something, right? And I know that's the only way you can see it is a videotape, right? That would either be entrapment, right? Anyway, because a 4-year-old ain't supposed to interact with me either way. She ain't supposed to come in there to me. Her mother's supposed to tell her not to come in there to me. The opposite should be true, right? If she does, I gotta figure out why. Anyway, that's why I could do that, but I toe the line. I don't go past a certain point in either story. Well, there's also 2 ways she can come in there to wake me up. Say she comes in there completely, and she's right there in my face, and I wake up with her vagina in my face, or torso, or belly button, or whatever, right? We want to call it, right? Anything from the waist down or the belly button down is considered your no-no place, right? Anything above, or your boobs, or things like that, are no-no places. And anything, your shoulders, your hips, certain areas you can touch. Certain areas you can't touch. If someone's open to it, you can hug them, right? But you can't hug them and stick your arm between their butt cheeks and tell them they're uncomfortable with their sexuality like Pastor Davis did with me, right? That means he wanted sex with me, but he ain't gonna get it. I ain't gonna get along with him so he can get it, right? I know what he wants. I know what he wants. He ain't getting it. Now, that's another way to avoid things like that, too, is, again, careful who you're around, right? Like the 18-year-old with Kevin Spacey, right? Well, one, he lied that he was 21 and he was a bartender, and Kevin didn't know his age, right? That's the problem with that one. Had he told Kevin he was 18 and Kevin did it, that was on Kevin, right? Well, Kevin has no way to know the age of a bartender is 18 if he was thinking it was 21, and he asked him and he said 21. I'm sorry, but that one don't fit. That one don't fit. Now, when he did it with Richard Dreyfuss' son, that's sexual assault of a minor, right? That's almost pedophilia there, Kevin, right? The second one's questionable, right? Because the boy said he was 21 when he was 18, right? That's his lot, right? Not yours, not yours. But the first case, that's pure pedophilia. You can go to jail for that shit, right? Unless statutes of limitations is run out, shit like that, right? Though there's no real statutes of limitation for pedophilia or sexual assault, Kevin. So be careful. Hope the boy forgives you and don't really press charges, or there is a statute of limitations if certain rules, like your dad being president or something like that, prohibit them from prosecuting you, right? Because you sort of had a witness and you could have cried out, and some people use loopholes to do that to you, right? So you won't talk about it, right? But the more you talk about a problem and you know you didn't do nothing wrong to yourself, the more it's exposed and can be stopped, not just so it don't happen to you, but others too. That's what you're out for. That's what I'm out for, right? I didn't want anything to happen to Amanda, even if she came in there to me, period. So whoever's talking about it to her, if it's Marceline or Sal or anyone, they're in the wrong. All right, well, I got a phone call, so I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.